Did we finance a bioweapon with U.S. taxpayer dollars that killed millions of people and escaped from the lab? Fauci's panicking about this one, too. Fauci gave a media appearance the other day and was like, what do you think? The Chinese built a bioweapon to kill millions of their citizens and Americans? No, Doc, I don't believe they leaked it on purpose. That's why it's called a leak. Now, why do I think this? That it's possible we may have financed a bioweapon. Well, one, as I told you, the leftist response is always indicative of that we should double down, that we're over a target. When they start freaking out, it usually means it's true. But here's Admiral Brett Giroir on, I believe, with Bill Hemmer on the Fox News Channel. And listen, Brett Giroir, who was intimately involved with the whole coronavirus task force under the Trump administration, he's been very outspoken lately. And Brett Giroir was on Bill Hemmer, and here Brett Giroir just goes for it. Check this one out.
It is not outrageous to hypothesize, you say, that the virus could have been part of an offensive bioweapons program and leaked out accidentally.
Sure, that seems to be that seems to be discounted by Dr. Collins and other people. I think the most likely explanation is that it was gain-of-function mutation work. It leaked out. But unlike the United States does not have an offensive biological weapons program. There are multiple open sources of intel that suggest that China has an extensive biological weapons program and that it's integrated between state laboratories, academia, and private industry. So it is not crazy, as people suggest, like Dr. Collins suggested, that this could have been part of a bio program.
You think he's just throwing that out there because he's got nothing to do on the Bill Hemmer program? He's bored, twiddling his thumbs. He's like, let me make something up. Oh, you know what? Bioweapon. Yeah, that's right. That sounds good. You think he's eager for like Twitter retweets and sound bites? Like he cares about that? Folks, this, again, I'm telling you this, understanding Spygate, the impeachment hoax, these mega scandals we've lived through in just the last 5-6 years. I'm telling you this one is it. I mean, this is potentially the platinum medal winner of scandals if this turns out to be true. And seriously, to the leftists who are obsessed with my show, the more you call this a conspiracy theory, the more I will double down. You've been warned. I don't care if ScrewTube bans us or Facebook. I have Rumble. I have Parler. I have other outlets. I don't care. This may be the most important story of our lifetime. And your attacks will only enrage me further to talk about it more. You've been warned. I'm just putting it out there. You think Giroir's just going on Bill Hemmer and throwing that out there because he doesn't know anything? He was only a key member of the task force who obviously has access to top secret information about the coronavirus program. And he makes a pretty key point that, yes, the Chinese government, we have multiple intelligence sources which have outed repeatedly the Chinese government's active bioweapons creation program. Wouldn't that really be bizarre if our taxpayer dollars somehow assisted a bioweapons program? Now, let's go back to the beginning here. I kind of put the bottom line up front. Now we're going to start to build the case a little more that somebody's hiding something, and it's clear that there's probably a law enforcement investigation going on right now. And again, the question is, what the hell did U.S. taxpayers pay for, and did somebody try to make it go away? The investigation, that is. Dr. Redfield used to head the CDC. Dr. Redfield opened up Pandora's box back in March. I don't know if you remember this, but he was talking to Sanjay Gupta from CNN. He gave an interview back in March when the lab leak hypothesis was still considered by media buffoons, was still considered to be a conspiracy theory. Remember that? Back then, if you said it, you'd be banned from Twitter. We said it anyway, so did many others. I don't really care what they say. But seriously, just back in March, what are we in now? I'm losing track of time. June. Not that long ago, this was still considered a nutty conspiracy theory. This was the moment, though. Pandora's box was open, And the so-called media serious people, what we would call the buffoons in the mainstream media, but they consider themselves seriously, had to start to pay attention. This was a key interview. Check this out.
If I was to guess, this virus started transmitting somewhere in September, October in Wuhan.
September, October.
That's my own view. It's an only opinion. I'm allowed to have opinions. Now, I am of the point of view that I still think the most likely etiology of this pathogen in Wuhan was from a laboratory, escaped. Other people don't believe that. That's fine. Science will eventually figure it out. It's not unusual for respiratory pathogens that are being worked on in a laboratory to infect a laboratory worker.
Kind of odd, no, that former Trump officials in the Trump administration, both Redfield and Garrar, who again had access to top secret information and were involved with the coronavirus task force with President Donald Trump, once President Trump left office, felt the freedom to speak out. One of them says he's, at this point, believes it could be a lab leak. And the other one says, hey, we should pay attention to their bioweapons program. You think that's a big coinky-dink? Now, as I said just a few minutes ago, you can always tell you're over a target gauging the response by the leftists and the degree of the freak out. So after Redfield went out and spoke about that, you'll notice that we just found out from the Epoch Times, and you'll see this headline, former CDC Director Redfield received death threats from scientists for supporting Wuhan lab leak theory. Ladies and gentlemen, someone was panicking. Redfield was talking about a lab leak. Garrar's now talking about the possibility of a bioweapon. We now know from the Daily Caller report, our money was indirectly used to fund this kind of stuff. You see why the panic's ensuing now?